Studio time check is 4:02 p.m. and you're welcome back. This is still your favorite show, Vibes&Insha, and I'm your host, Hada Sajai. Before we went out on that music break, I told you that we're going to be having a guest on the show right here. And except you've been living under a rock, then you definitely know everything that's been going on in the country, in Nigeria. You know, especially with the embattled Chrisland school and the 10-year-old child. And there's a whole lot going on in the entire situation. So I said, you know what would be good? Let us have an expert here on the show to talk about child sexual abuse, sexual education, everything you need to know, especially for young people who have kids, who are planning to have kids anytime soon. I, for one, have a baby sister who is just 10 years old and is going to be 11 by September. And trust me, this is as much for me as it is for you. So we're going to get into it. And I have a guest on the show today who we'll be talking to, who is an expert. And you know what? This woman, first of all, our conversation the other day, the first time I called on the phone, I was like, okay, I was just so excited to get into the conversation. I was like, hi, good afternoon. And then I forgot myself. I was like, oh my God, hi, good afternoon. I was supposed to ask, how are you? I was supposed to ask, how are you? But she's so cool. And every conversation we had has been very good. And she's also very punctual. I absolutely love that about you. It's like, I love people who are ready to work with me. If you're wondering who I'm talking about, her name is Cynthia. Cynthia actually holds a BSc in biochemistry from Olabisi Onabanjo University, Ogun State. She is a certified counselor. When I said expert, I actually mean expert. She's a certified counselor from Attitude Development International, Lagos. She's also a sex ed expert with over 5 years experience working with children and parents alike. And she is currently the lead counselor at Eileen Brooks Counseling and the founder of Sex Conscious Parents. It's a page on Instagram. You should definitely go check it out. I feel like parents and children alike should be on that page because there's something to learn. I was there and I'm like, okay. I feel like these are conversations I didn't even think to have with my child, and honestly, it's a lot. But first, before I have Cynthia on the show, I feel like there are some statistics I need to get up to. There's some statistics I need to give to you so that you can understand exactly what we're dealing with here when it comes to child education, sexual violence, and all of that. According to UNICEF, 6 out of every 10 children experience some form of violence. 1 in 4 girls and 10% of boys have been victims of sexual violence. Of the children who reported violence, fewer than 5 out of 100 received any form of support. And Nigeria has the largest number of child brides in Africa, with more than 23 million girls and women who were married as children, most of them from poor and rural communities. So while data actually suggests a decline of 9% in the prevalence of child marriage since 2003, a projected further decrease of 6% by 2030. But with Nigeria's rapid population growth, that means the number of child brides will in fact increase by more than 1 million by 2030 and double by 2050. I don't know if that's scary to you, but it's definitely scary to me. More, it is said that 1 in 3 children is sexually abused by an adult and does not tell anyone. And 4 out of 5 children abused by a pair told no one else at the time. I could go on and on and on and on and on and give you all of these statistics, to be very honest, but let us talk to Cynthia. First off, hi Cynthia. Hello.
Hello.
How you doing? Good evening.
Great, wonderful. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for actually taking the time out to be here today. I don't take you for granted because I know that it was very short notice, but you were ready to do it. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much.
All right. First off, you are really beautiful. I have to give that. Your skin doing what it's supposed to do, and your smell. Thank you very much for gracing me with your presence.
Thank you.
All right. So let's get into it. At what age should child sex education start? Let's just jump into it. Let's just jump.
Okay. Child sex education, that is the question on every mother's lip.
Yes.
But for me to start with, we don't, when we're looking for job, right?
Yes.
We know the nearest place to go get to check for job openings. But when it comes to our children, we restrict ourselves. Even as free as Google, where we can get materials to sex educate our children, people don't even bother to. but they keep asking you at every opening. You keep hearing, when do I start? But we have Google at our fingertip. In as much as Google will not give you everything you need to know, you still need to attend classes, seminars, and all that. But I mean, to start with, Google is your friend. Dear parents, we should try and be using it, not just for the recent happenings in the country, but for the benefits of our children. So let's get into it. When should you start sex educating your child?
Yeah.
I will always say this, and I say this to every parent that cares to listen. Sex education begins from cradle.
Cradle.
Hope you're not shocked.
What?
Yes. As soon as your child can talk, as soon as your child can say mama, dada, as soon as your child can talk, you should introduce sex education. Some people will wonder how.
How? Yes.
You know, when you start teaching your child body parts, parents will be excited when they say, oh, come, my child can, if you ask my child to say, show me your eyes, she will show you her eyes. Show me your head. Most parents are quick to tell people that, oh, my child can actually point at this.
Yes.
Sexuality education starts from there. When you start teaching your child the body part, what stops you from teaching them their private parts? Most parents are shy and they are scared of teaching their children their body parts. I tell you, when you can teach your child head, shoulders, knees, and toes, teach your child buttocks, vulva, penis, scrotum. We should normalize saying these things. It is heavy. Why? Due to taboo. Most of us, we grew up in homes where these talks are sacred. I understand. But does it mean that because they didn't have this conversation with us, we should go ahead and pass on the same knowledge to our children? No. Now we know better. I urge parents, start from cradle. As soon as your children can talk, from the ages of, I don't know, some talk as early as 11 months,
yes.
12 months, introduce the conversation. And it begins with telling them that, oh, Dara, you are a boy and you are beautiful. You are a girl. Boys have penis. Boys have buttocks. Yemi, you are a girl. Sorry, I'm using your name.
No. It's perfect. It's perfect. It's okay.
Oh, Yemi, Yemi, you're a girl. God made you beautiful. You are a girl. You let them know who they are. Tell them their body part. Tell them that as they grow up, as they get to mature, you start building on it. That is where sex education starts from. But most parents, when they hear sex education, what comes to their mind is sexual intercourse, which is not. You're not discussing sexual activities with your children.
Yeah.
And sex education is not an emergency. Right now, this Chrisland saga, if you go everywhere, all over the internet, most parents want to know, how can I sex educate my child? It is not an emergency. And I can tell you for free, once this heat dies down, they will slow down. And it shouldn't be so.
It shouldn't be so.
You start with sex education from cradle and you build on it.
Yeah. Okay, so one more thing something else I need to ask is, what are the advantages of sex education for kids?
Okay, when you sex educate your kids, several things happen. One of which, your child will be self-confident. When you sex educate your child, you teach your child self-confidence. It boosts their esteem. For a child to know, have you asked yourself what makes children fall for peer pressure? Most of them don't know who they are.
True.
They go out and they seek for validation from others.
Yes.
Why? Due to low self-esteem. But if you sex educate your child know who they are. You boost their self-esteem. How do you boost their self-esteem via sex education? By affirmation. You are beautiful. Parents don't affirm their children. Most of the girls you see today going to boys for them to buy them one petty thing or the other. It's simple affirmation. They lack love. And most parents don't even know their children's love language. They don't know their love languages.
True.
If you speak in your child's language, you boost your self-esteem, I can tell you.
Before you go too far, what are love languages?
The 5 love languages we have.
Okay, so is it the one for adults? Is it the one that for adults that applies?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Same.
Okay.
It is same. The love languages, words of affirmation, giving gifts, physical
quality time. Yes.
Act of service. All this applies to children, but most parents don't know how to. Now, I want to bring the fathers into this. In all this that we're saying, most of the times you see mothers When this topic comes up, we'll see mother. I am who I am today because of the kind of love my father showered on me. You can even ask Alejaya Ahmed. There is nothing a boy can do to me or give to me that will shake me. My father showered me with so much love. Every father out there, date your girl child. Even in the university, there is nothing a boy can give to me. Highest, I'll tell you, is it money you want to give to me? Because that is what they flaunt, and I have excess of it. Is it love you want to give to me? I am full of love. Whatever you want to give to me is extra. Dear fathers, love your girl child. Date them. Be the first love in their life. This is the only reason why most girls go out to seek validation from boys, and they become prey.
Speaking of fathers, how do you build trust and make yourself accessible to your kids? Not just fathers, but parents in general. Yes.
Parents, three things. For you to be accessible to your child, you must be present in your child's life. I call it pal parenting, PAL. You must be present in your child's life. Yes, okay. You must be available. I know we're all going out looking for things for children, but whereby we get these things and we come home and they're lost. Of what use?
Of what use is it? True.
And the last one, L, is listening. Be a listening parent. Most parents don't listen. We come back home tired. Our children come to us, even mommy welcome, daddy welcome, with the traffic and the stress at work. We just hush them and tell them I'm tired. They might even have something to say. I beg you, parents, if it is just 5 minutes you have, immediately you get into the house, drop your bag, drop everything, go to the floor. Depending on the age of your children, go down, give them that 5 minutes of quality time. I can tell you it will do a whole lot. My children today, I give report and feedback to their school is simply because of our communication. We have open communication in our home. Every home must have an open communication system. You must connect. Without connection, you cannot sex educate your child. Sorry. Connection is a currency which you use to sex educate your child. If you are not connected with your child, you cannot sex educate. A child you don't have connection with, you can't sex educate. Your child needs to trust you. Your child needs to trust you. Most parents lack that today. Your child tells you one simple thing. Grandma has heard it. Your aunt, your siblings have heard it. Children hate that thing so much.
Yes.
If you have, for the past years I've been working with children, most children will open up to me, but say, can I talk to your mommy about this? Say, no, please don't tell my mommy. If you tell my mommy, my neighbors will hear. My neighbors will hear. We really need to build trust, connect, build trust, and have relationship with your children.
You see, this thing you're saying, somebody still talked about it on social media a couple of days ago. I was talking about how parents really need to change when it comes to their children. When children confide in you, they shouldn't hear it from their grandfather or from their mother or from their friends or their neighbors, which is really sad. And a lot of times in the comment section, a lot of people were now talking about how because of this, they stopped talking to their mothers, they've stopped talking to their fathers, because once they tell them something, they know that definitely somebody else is going to hear about it, which is really sad. Now, this is bringing us to, will this help parents prevent sexual abuse? Once your child can trust you, will it help prevent sexual abuse? And how can parents help prevent sexual abuse?
That is the key. Connection is that I don't know if you got this. There was one voice note making rounds of a 16-year-old.
Yes, I did. I heard of it.
Yes. To listen to that audio and learn from that particular mother. Now I heard that I fell in love with the mother immediately. Because this mother has built trust
enough for the child to be able to tell. Yes.
With the child. That is what most parents with teen children are. They don't have it. They say their teenagers are stubborn and all that, but I want to tell us there is something called the puberty brain. The puberty brain changes so much of the. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes. What does the puberty brain mean?
Yeah, puberty.
Yes.
The puberty brain. Most of us, we feel that puberty is just when a child transitions from a child body to an adult body. But I can tell you for free that so much is happening with the puberty brain.
Okay.
I made research about the puberty brain, and I got to understand that at puberty brain, they have raging hormones that are running wild.
Yes.
But parents don't know what to do. They term the child stubborn. But no, it is not them that is working. It is the puberty hormones that is working with them. As a parent, what do you do with that? What do you do with that? It is the time for you to teach your child and channel them in the right way, and also give them respect. Most parents don't respect their teenagers. I can tell you for free. You know, they want to be this authority figure in their life. Because I'm your mother, you have to do this. But no, if you have a teenager and you're listening today, if you start showing respect to your teenager and start seeking their opinion about some certain matters, they will draw close to you. In fact, you become an authority figure in their life. But whereby you want to see that you are the alpha and omega, you are the parent. Let me also tell us something. From the age of 14, children tend to move from seeking advice from their parents to the crowd. So dear parents, if you have children within this age, you should check it. It is the time for you to walk hand in hand with them. Else they will go outside to seek views from untested waters.
So at this point, parents need to try very hard to ensure that they are friends with their kids, not just parents.
Yeah, when you say friends, I want to correct something.
Okay.
Most people will say that you have to be friends with your children. But I can tell you for free, you cannot be friends with your children. A parent will be a parent, right? Okay. There are some things a friend can do, and there are some things a parent cannot do. You can be close and build a relationship with your child. But it's different from being your child's friend. But if you are saying, I'm your child's friend, you are deceiving yourself. Because at a point, this is why parents at this stage, when their children start getting into teenage age, they need to build their circle of influence. Because I said earlier, from the age of 14, they tend to move away from seeking advice from their parents to the crowd or to their peers. So you need to build their circle of influence. It is the time where you introduce them to team mentors, coaches, and positive people that can help them grow.
Okay.
So if they can't listen to you, they will listen to their coaches. They will listen to their mentors. And that is what is happening. But most parents have refused to listen.
Speaking of, because of the situation with the Chrisland school, I feel like one question we need to ask, because of a lot of conversation that has come up in the course of the entire saga, is how can parents recognize signs of abuse in their kids?
Okay, perchance, I don't know if you listened to the testimony of the testimonial from the mom.
Yes, I did.
When she was saying what she was saying.
Yes, I did.
You know, she said, from the testimonial, I noticed that there was no communication between herself and the daughter.
Yes.
And two, the girl showed signs. Whatever we call it, they say it's not rape, it's rape or whatever. It is called consensual rape because the people involved are children, and children cannot give consent.
Consent, yes.
UNICEF identify a child as anyone below the age of 18, and all the people involved in this situation, they are below the age of 18. Therefore, they are children. The girl showed signs of abuse, and the mother did not recognize. You remember when she was saying, when she called her, let's go to school. She would say, I don't want to go to school.
Yes.
Refusal to go to school. Did you sit your child down to know why? When there is a case of abuse, the child will not show interest in school. If the child was once a brilliant student, you will see that the child academically will be going down. The child will sulk a lot, will like a long time to themselves. If it's a child that mixes freely, you'll see that particular child will want to stay by themselves. Please, parents, if you notice any of this sign, do well to talk to your child. And if you are not connected with your child, please seek the help of a counselor. There is no way you take that child to counseling that child will not get help. that is just the best bet. And for this girl in question, I pray and I just believe that she's been taken in for therapy because she needs serious therapy. I can tell you for free, this girl does not know the extent or the damage she has done. So she needs serious counseling and therapy for her to get healing. Enough of all this bashing, enough of, social media has done what they want to do. But the truth is, he who is without a fault, let them be the first
To cast a stone.
its stone.
Yes.
They should go back home and check their children. Yes, we saw this because it was social media, right?
Yes.
Do you know what is happening at the background? Most of us don't know our children. During some conversation in my community, I asked parents, go back home and ask your children if they have heard about the truth and dare, because they said they were doing truth and
They
dare.
were playing the truth and dare game. Yes.
Now, I asked them to go back home and ask your children, do they know about the truth and dare? I happened to ask my 8 and 10, and they said they've not heard about it before. So the other parents, they were shocked. The one 6 years old, I was having conversation. The other one said they dared him to kill the father. The other one said they dared him to lick somebody else's buttocks. And the children I'm talking about are between the ages of 6 and 10.
My goodness.
The other one, the mother said, the small girl said that they asked her, a girl, that they dared her to have sex with a woman. A lot is happening.
Wow.
But if you had stayed ordinarily, you would just feel your child is innocent. But because we don't want to have this conversation, all these things will keep going on. We don't have any choice than to have the sex conversation with our children. It's a must. It's a must. We must have the sex conversation. I asked parents, have you talked to your child about this particular incident? And the other one said, a mother said, the 7-year-old said he actually saw the sex tape.
7-year-old.
Now tell me, is that? Yes, he does not have a phone, but the friends have phones. All those parents that say, "Oh, I don't care about the sex education. I don't care. I don't want to have the sex conversation now. I won't even fall into trouble because my children don't have phones. They are not exposed to phones." Hey, do you know your children's circle of influence? This 7-year-old that saw the sex tape of this particular Christian girl's saga, he does not have a phone, but the friends have phone, and they showed it to him.
Okay, so speaking of phones, a lot of people have various opinions about when their kids should get a phone. 10 years old, 15, when you get to the university. What are your thoughts as a counselor on this? When should a child get a phone? And what kind of phone?
Okay.
And if at all they're getting a phone, what are some measures that can be taken to protect them, to help them use the internet the right way?
Now, parents just believe they can, because they have the money, they can give their children phones. But I want to ask you today, as a parent, if you have given your child a phone, do you, as a family, have a family media guide? What happens in your home? What do you know what your children are watching? Before you give your child a phone, have you had the phone conversation with your child? Have you had a tech conversation with your child? Have you had do you have a media plan for your child? The tech conversation, drug conversation, sex conversation. Have you talked about child molestation? Have you talked about rape? Have you talked about child abuse? These are conversations that you must have had with your child. How to behave online, netiquette. Have you taught your children the proper way to behave online? If you have checked yourself with all I have said and you have not done any, and your child has a smartphone that is internet enabled, please do well to withdraw the phone. Do all what I've said so far. Educate them properly before you hand over. I will not deny the fact that technology has its positive side.
Yes.
It also has its own negative side. But the positive outweigh I will always say the positive outweigh the negative. It depends on how we present it to our children.
Okay.
So for parents, I will advise that you go through all this conversation, have a media plan.
Okay,
before
so
you give your child
we have a few more minutes, and this is going to be my last question. At what age should children teenagers be introduced to birth control from, condoms to IUDs to pills? And is it are you as a child counselor, as a educationist, advising for this?
Now, it all falls back to our family values.
Okay.
Now, there is no sex education without your family values. We all have different family values. Some family preach safe sex, other families preach abstinence.
Abstinence,
So
yes.
what is your family value? So I cannot tell you that, oh, safe sex, I preach abstinence, total abstinence in my home. Some other families, their own family values might be safe sex. They might introduce condom, contraceptive, IUD to their children, because that is what their family value is based on.
Okay.
So I can't say that this is the right or this is the wrong. Everything
way.
boils down to your family values.
All right. Thank you so much for taking the time out to come today. First, before you go, could you quickly tell us your social media handle, and if you have anything coming up very soon that parents and children alike can actually attend and sign up for?
Okay, my social media handle is at Sex Conscious Parent.
Okay.
And also I run a Parent for Community, which is the Sex Conscious Parent community.
Okay.
We have safety conscious worksheets. We have posters and child sexual abuse prevention materials, manuals for children that parents can get. We have worksheets, we have posters, and we have books. And also I'm working on, because parents find it difficult to have this conversation with their children, I'm working on something. It's called the Sex Conversation on Card. It's just like a card in a box.
Okay.
Sex ed in a box. Okay. You can go around with it and in unstructured way, informal way. You can talk to your children freely. You don't need to rack your brain about anything. Just get out some cards and get the conversation.
So everything
going.
is found on your page?
Yes.
Okay, so
yes.
say the page again.
At Sex Conscious Parents on Instagram.
At Sex Conscious Parents on Instagram. Thank you so much, Cynthia, for granting us your time today. I do not take it for granted. It means a lot that you took the time out to come here. I hope that when we call you again, you will definitely come again.
Always available.
All right. Thank you so much.
We're here.
All right. Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
All right. There we have it, guys. I mean, there's a whole lot to learn. There's a whole lot to be learned. Definitely. I hope you have picked one or two things from this. I hope that, as parents, you have learned one thing or the other for your kids. I hope that this helps you be a better parent, educate your child properly when it comes to sex and all that has to do with sex. Definitely go and check out Cynthia's page, and if you have any more questions, you can send her a DM and ask her all of that. Thank you so much for joining us today. We'll see you again next time on the show. Enjoy the rest of your day. Hada Sajai signing out now. Sayonara. Bye.
You are listening to Elegbete TV Radio.